Hey guys, I know I said it last week, and I imagine I'll probably tell you each and every week, but I'm really excited and thrilled to have you joining me today. Whether you're watching me live and you've taken a few minutes out of your day to check out this broadcast, or maybe you popped into my website, checked out the library tab, and saw not only this show, but where I keep all of my shows each and every week, I'm just thrilled that you've taken some time to tune in and see what we're talking about. I'm really excited about today's topic, but before we jump into that, I just want to acknowledge so many of you who took the time to reach out to me via email, reach out to me on one of the social networks. Some of you sent me texts and gave me calls just congratulating me on my first show last week and just throwing so much support behind what I'm doing. So thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Now, jumping into the topic this week, it's funny. I mentioned last week that I coach, that I've been being coached for a very long time. I think going on 4 years now. And there's so many byproducts and so many ways being coached on one thing impacts so many other parts of your life. And that is true for me, and I see it every day. One of the things that coaching does is I think it raises our level of awareness. It allows us to see things that may have always been there, but have been hidden from view for one reason or another, right? And with that raised awareness, you just start to notice not only things in your own life, but things in society, things in the country, things everywhere. And for me this week, it kind of hit me that I just start paying attention to all the different ways people are responding to this pandemic and the idea that, just everything's different. You think about what we're seeing, right? We're seeing schools closed. We're seeing virtual learning, right? For businesses, we're seeing restrictions, right? Some businesses can't open or haven't been open, right? Some people have been forced to slow down because the business isn't there. There are no conferences. There are no trade shows, right? Restaurants have had to dramatically change what they're doing. So many parts of our society have changed, forcing the businesses to change right along with them, right? We're working at home more than ever. I'm talking to leaders and managers, owners who are leading their teams that they haven't seen in 2 or 3 months, right? With everybody working from home and jumping on the next Zoom call or Microsoft Teams meeting or whatever it is. It's just different. Right. And as I was just paying attention, I was hearing some stories from clients and talking to some friends, and it just kind of hit me this week that, wow, we have an amazing opportunity in front of us. And what struck me in these conversations is that I'm seeing some people view it just as that, view it as an opportunity, while I'm seeing others view it as just something that's nothing but negative. And they just can't wait. The desire to get back to what we call normal is so strong that I think it's stopping some of us from seeing the opportunities that are there in front of us. So I thought we'd dig into that this week. I thought this week would be a great chance to talk about, the topic being there's no better time to reimagine your business. And I believe this is true. I think I would have believed it without any of the examples that I've been paying attention to, but even more so because I'm seeing what's going on. I've told a few people this, and I'll share it with you here. I think we're going to see a separation. I think coming out of COVID-19, whenever things open up and the economy opens up and things kind of go back to what we would call normal, I think we're going to see a separation. I think we're going to see a separation of the businesses that use this as an opportunity, added capabilities, changed the way they did stuff, reimagined the way they exist, and the businesses that hunkered down and decided they were going to wait this thing out, right? That things would go back to normal, business would pick up, and things coming out of COVID are going to look the exact same as they did going in, right? And that separation is, I think the businesses that are rethinking and are evolving right now, those businesses are going to create a separation. They're going to grow, they're going to expand, and they're going to take market share from the other ones. The people that were just holding on, I think they're in for a rude awakening when things don't go back to normal and clients don't come through the doors the way they used to, and they just never quite make it back to the good old days, right? I think we saw this a while back after the 2008 recession. You saw businesses that hunkered down, held on, didn't spend any money, didn't explore new. They just said, look, this can't last forever, and we just want to make sure we're still standing when we come out of this recession. Well, I would bet most of those businesses don't exist today. So when I say that there's no better time to reimagine your business, I'm challenging you to rethink things, to take a step back, to say, how did we exist yesterday? How should we or how could we exist today to weather the storm that is the pandemic, and then what opportunities because of that evolution will be waiting for us on the backside, right? So in thinking of this, I thought about a few examples that I've seen, and all of these that I want to share with you are literally from the last week, the last 7 days, right? The first is I work with a guy who's a pharmaceutical rep, right? And he's a go-getter. He wants to get out there. He wants to grow his market share. He wants to grow his business. And it's interesting when you hear all the ways that things have changed for pharmaceutical reps, right? They used to have lunches. They used to go into offices. They used to sit down with entire staffs. And since COVID, a lot of that isn't happening anymore. Well, he took it upon himself to say, look, we're still going to have our lunches. We're still going to get together. We're still going to spend time together. He just changed the way he did it, right? Instead of him going and picking up food, bringing it into an office, laying it out in the conference room, and everybody sitting and talking while he's sharing information about the drugs he represents, he sends everything in virtually, right? So ahead of time, he says, look, I would love to buy the office lunch on Thursday. He sends the lunches in. He orders online. He has Uber Eats drop them at the offices, and then he sets up a Zoom call so he can join them virtually. Now, you might be saying to yourself, that's not a huge change. And it's not. But even that little tweak has allowed him to be in front of way more people than his competitors and even some of his colleagues are right now. You know, another example is we've probably all experienced it. You think about the restaurant industry. And man, I can't think of any industry that's been rocked more than the restaurant industry. And because we all, at least most of us, probably spend a fair amount of time in restaurants or ordering from restaurants or taking the family or business calls or whatever it may be, spending time in restaurants, it's hard not to notice, right? Just this week, we wanted to order some food. My sister's family's in town. We wanted to order some food. We talked about a local restaurant that we were going to order from and pulled up the menu. Everybody's choosing what they want. And we got to the point that all they had was a phone number. It said call to order. And it blew my mind. And I was telling her that when I go to a page and it says call to order, I usually just choose a different restaurant because other restaurants have taken this opportunity to add capabilities, to build on their technology. Right? So now at a lot of the restaurants I frequent, I can place an order and let them know what time I'm going to be there to pick it up without ever talking to anybody, right? And those restaurants are earning my business. So there are restaurants that are losing out. They're losing out on dollars right now because they refuse to reimagine the way they interact with their customers. They refuse to reimagine the way they accept orders, right? It slows down their staff. There's less money coming in. And overall, that restaurant's going to have a much harder time to survive than ones that are moving and evolving with the times. And here's my favorite part about that. All of these restaurants that are making it easy to order online and get something either through delivery or pickup, those capabilities are still going to be intact when things open up and they get back to having full dining rooms and doing what they do. But now they've added an additional revenue stream. So today, while those capabilities help them replace lost revenue because of the restrictions, when the economy does open up, they're going to be able to serve people in the restaurants just like they always have, but also rely on a more consistent takeout business because they've rethought that. They've reimagined it and figured out how to really make it work for the people they serve. Let's stick with restaurants for a minute. I heard a great story about a restaurant this week, right? And it's funny because on the same day, I talked to two different people in two different restaurants. One of them was telling me how much they're hurting. They're both high-end restaurants. So well-established brands, high-end restaurants, great food, great experiences all around. One of the managers was telling me how they were hurting because people weren't coming into the restaurant and the takeout business just hasn't taken off the way they had hoped. Now, that same day, I talked to another restaurant who told me that through all of this, they're only 10% off of where they expected to be for the year. And right now they're challenging their team to figure out how to make up even that 10%. But it's because they truly took a step back and reimagined what they did. Now, I said it's a high-end restaurant. The first thing they did was they spent a lot of time figuring out how do we wrap up food to make sure it arrives as in the best possible way. The freshest, the hottest, the best tasting. Not only that, but they added something they'd never done before. They added delivery. Now, delivery seems pretty simple, right? You throw some food in a car, have somebody take it and drop it off. No, they thought, how do we make delivery an experience? And for them, they not only deliver the food, hot, ready, well packaged, but they do so with a a driver in maybe not formal wear, but he's certainly dressed for the occasion. And the food is delivered in Escalade. And people talk about it and people share it. And it becomes a part of the story, a part of the experience. I would be willing to bet that that second restaurant is well positioned to continue a booming delivery service, even when they go back to making the kind of revenue they used to inside the restaurant. The last example I'll give you is a story I heard this week about a marketing agency, right? And I know a lot of you watching this are in the services industry. And in marketing, a lot of times it's dollars for hours, right? It's we can do this service, we can manage this thing, but it's truly billable hours. Well, they said, look, a lot of our marketing clients are putting things on pause, are holding things, are not doing what they were doing just a while ago. A lot of our B2B businesses are closed or paused. We're losing revenue. So what better time to take a step back and rethink how we deliver our value, rethink how we show up for our clients as experts. So they took that extra capacity they just found and they created a course. So now people have access to the marketing secrets, the way they think, their strategies, and all these other things through a course. They have something that is no longer tied to how many hours they put in on a particular project, and they could sell to people all over the world, people they never meet, companies they never work with, right? So as their service side of their business picks back up, the other side, this course side, is going to be there driving an additional revenue stream. So I think these are the ways, and this is the kind of thinking that we all need to be doing right now in the middle of this pandemic. There are opportunities for us to grow our business, to evolve our business, to make our business what we truly want right now in these circumstances. We don't have to wait. In fact, I would argue now is a better time than waiting. The topic I said, the title of this was There's No Better Time, and I believe that. Some of it's forced, right? And change is hard, right? It's so easy to show up and do the same things we've always done. But there is no better time to position your business to make it through the pandemic as strong as possible, but also have new revenue streams, new opportunities, and a new way that you exist on the backside of this thing. And so how do you do that? I think there are a lot of ways to get there, right? It's you have your own business network. You have smart people you talk to probably each and every week. Share ideas. Ask them what they think of your business and what you could do differently. Lean on your team. As for me, the way I do it and the way my clients do it is we've made it a lot of our coaching sessions. That's what we talk about, right? We talk about ways that they can do things differently. We talk about ways that they can reimagine or add to what they're already doing. They're seeing this pandemic as an opportunity to get closer to the business they really want, right? They finally have the space to take a step back and say, okay, what do I do week in and week out that I just don't want to do anymore? Or is there a better way? Or is there an easier way? So these are all questions that I'm challenging them with so that they can explore ways to reimagine their business and show up better for the rest of 2020 and beyond. So with that, I challenge you to reimagine your business, right? And it may not be these huge mind-blowing ideas. Maybe it's a little idea. Maybe it's a small tweak here and there. Maybe it's a slight pivot, right? Maybe you add something you've never done before. Maybe you explore new technology that allows you to service your clients and your customers differently, right? There's a million ways to reimagine your business, but I think now is the time for us to take a step back and fully step into reimagining what our business can be. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. Hopefully this has got you thinking about the opportunities that are waiting for you. If you would like my help in reimagining that business, if you would like to explore what coaching looks like, please reach out to me on my website at darrellsweeney.com, and I will be happy to spend some time with you, tell you about coaching, tell you about the experiences, tell you about the results some of my clients are getting, but most importantly, hear about where you are and what the business and the life you really want looks like. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys soon.